Good morning. How are you today? So, today's great topic, we're going to be getting into organization, tips, tricks, and we're going to talk about specifically decluttering your home and your office. So, are you ready to get started? Okay, everyone is always looking for organization ideas. What's it called? Even organized people. Like, organized people don't ever feel like they're organized enough. Like, they always feel like I could do more. I could have this look better. There really is an ongoing process. It's never like, oh, okay, I am so satisfied. This never needs to be organized again. It doesn't work that way. It's a constant. What's it called? They're looking for creative solutions. And an organized person usually thinks there is more organization to do. Just so you know, speaking as an organized person. Something else about an organized person is when something is off in their orbit, it is off in their organization, right? It is evident by their disorganization that something else around them is off. So it may be in their home. It doesn't have to be everything's disorganized, but something is. It could be in their home. It could be in their car. It could be in the office, anything like that. There is something around them that is out of place, and that leaves them feeling overwhelmed and feeling chaotic and feeling out of control. So just because you're an organized person doesn't mean there's never disorganization. It also doesn't mean that you ever feel like you're fully organized. Important keys to know. An unorganized person kind of falls into one of two categories generally. The first is kind of overwhelmed and unlearned in organization. So they may be just feel like the chaos is too much, and that's the overwhelmed feeling. Or they may feel like, I don't know how to get organized. Like, I don't even know. I don't have any concept on how to get organized. So they may fall into that. Or someone with no desire to organize at all. Like, they are okay with the chaos. They are okay with a mess. They are okay with clutter. Okay, so you fall into one of two categories as an unorganized person. So today, I am talking specifically to the unorganized person who is overwhelmed and unlearned, and maybe even to that organized person who is feeling off and discombobulated and like something is just wrong in their world. So we're going to get into tips and tricks. That's what I promised for today, right? Tips and tricks. Yesterday we talked about daily planning and how vital that is to organizing your day. Well, today we're going to talk about, this is everything I talk about going forward is applicable to your home, to your office, to your car, like any type of space. Everything we talk about is applicable to that. So let me first start by saying KonMari. If you've heard of KonMari, tell me. What's it called? Comment if you've heard of it. KonMari is a trendy organization, and I use that in quotes very, very loosely, concept. And basically, let me tell you this. A personal object is not capable of eliciting joy. Joy is not a feeling. Joy is a state of mind, a state of being. So an object cannot create joy. That's my first problem with KonMari. My second problem is this. Feelings are fleeting. They're temporary, right? That same item that you pick up to decide if you feel joy from, you may feel unhappy with at this moment, but it may bring you great joy or great happiness or great peace in another moment. So maybe you're struggling in a relationship, right? So your item of choice that you pick up based on the KonMari plan, right? It irritates you, it bugs you, it disturbs you. There's no joy. I'm using joy in quotations. There's no joy in that. What's it called? And you may get rid of it. But a year later, so like say it's a stuffed animal, right? Because even as adults, right, we may still have them occasionally. My husband, for my birthday, he gave me an edibles arrangement a couple of years ago, and it came with a little stuffed animal, and it sits right over there. I don't play with it. Lily plays with it, but it sits there. So maybe it's something like that, right? A memento of some sorts. And because that relationship was not in the best, most solid place at the moment, you just got rid of it. You just tossed it. You were done with it. And a year later, everything is good in that relationship, right? And you realize that you just got rid of something that had sentimental value. That, yes, your feelings were harsh in one moment, but they weren't a year later, right? Feelings are temporary. Okay, joy is a state of mind. So KonMari is an organization. It is a minimalism practice. They can be one and the same, but the intent is everything. So clearly, I am not a KonMari fan, if you haven't figured that out yet. But I am a fan of lists and piles, and I believe this is where you get true organization. So to get started, you pick one space to organize first. One space. You don't create a grand project, and we're going to get into that further. You pick one space. What do you want to organize? Okay, this is a one step at time tasking. Right this second, pick a space that you want to organize. Just one space. Okay, so let's say, for example, organize your bathroom. Okay, it's a small space, right? But it hoards so much. Like, have you opened up the cabinets underneath your bathroom sink lately? Do things not just get tossed in there? Or maybe you have drawers and things get tossed in there. Maybe your medicine cabinet has a whole bunch of expired medicine in it. I mean, there's endless possibilities in this small room, right? There are walk-in closets bigger than bathrooms. But this room creates a whole lot of chaos. So that's what I'm going to ask you. Do you have control in the space? Okay, that's the first thing you want to think of when you pick an area you want to organize. Ask yourself, do you have control in the space? All right, now again, using the bathroom, you're using another space perhaps, but under the sink, what's going on under there? What have you got? Like I said, most people, it's a dumping zone. So first thing you want to start is by tackling the most disorganized area of this space, of this room. So again, in a bathroom, the most disorganized area is probably under the sink. If you have a linen closet inside your bathroom, it may be the linen closet. Those are generally the most disorganized spaces in a bathroom. So you've got the idea. Now remember, I do piles and lists. Now this isn't a place where lists would come in handy. There's other times lists come in handy, but this is a place where piles come in handy. So I start by creating 3 piles, not 4, not 7, 3 piles, okay? And I move through the cabinet quickly. I put everything in one of these 3 piles. Keep, trash, unsure, uncertain, whatever. Those are the 3 piles. So as I'm moving through the cabinet, I go through very quickly and I put the items in the particular piles. Once I've done that, right, I move on to the next thing. Maybe it's a shelving unit, maybe it's the linen closet, maybe it's the medicine cabinet. Whatever it is, right, maybe you've got drawers in your bathroom. I move into the next space and I continue to put items in one of these 3 piles. And then once I've cleared all the space, the very first thing I do is I get that trash bag and I trash that trash pile. So now it's done, out of sight, out of the way, and I'm ready to move on. After I've done that, like I kind of move on into the unsure pile, and it's time to go ahead and ask some questions. So as I look at these items, I'm going to ask 5 questions, okay? And you may have an answer after 2 or 3, and you may not need to ask 5, but I generally ask 5 questions. What does this mean to me? Now in a bathroom, you probably don't have a lot that means something to you, but you may. Someone may have made you a ceramic toothbrush holder that may mean something to you. What's it called? So along the way, what does it mean to you? What do I use it for? Okay. Why should I keep it? What will I do with it? And where will I put it? I did not ask you, does it bring you joy? Does it make you happy? Do you have peace for it? I didn't ask you any of those questions, okay? I asked, what does it mean to you? What do I use it for? Why should I keep it? What will I do with it? And where will I put it? Those are the 5 questions. And ask those for everything in the unsure pile. And you will find your trash will grow. You will add some things to the keep pile, but generally you add a lot less, okay? You'll find that there are a lot of things you're just ready to let go of. And then you move on. Okay, sometimes you have things just because you have them. Not because there's a great purpose. Maybe you bought it on sale but never used it. Maybe you just have it, like maybe it was given to you and you never used it. Underneath sinks, right, you often find lots of cleaning supplies. Maybe you don't ever use those cleaning supplies. Maybe they were left there by a previous owner. Go through these things. If you're not using it, get rid of it. Seriously, just put it in the trash pile. I don't care if it's a whole bottle of cleaner. If you're not going to use it, there is no reason to have that whole bottle of cleaner. Get rid of it. So it's a great time to purge. It is a great, great time to purge. And once you've minimized and minimalized your uncertain pile, right? Now all you've got left is a keep pile. Well, before you start going through that keep pile, before you start working on that keep pile, it's a good time to clean, right? Like everything's bare, everything's empty. Take a few minutes and clean that space thoroughly, because you know what? You'll have an easier time putting your room back together when it's clean than putting it back together when it's not. And the reason being is, right, we're used to that clutter status. We're used to that chaos. And so by putting your room back together, you've eliminated that. So now you can see clearly where you want to put things, which again may find that keep pile. If you don't have room for it, if you don't have the space for it, after you've started putting everything together, you may find that you still have more to get rid of. And that's a great day. The more you can get rid of, the fantastic, because we have a lot of stuff we don't need. And you don't realize that until you start organizing. And that's just the truth of it. Think about where you're going to put everything. Something you would have in a bathroom. If you were organized a bathroom, you probably have some excess unused, unopened toothbrushes, right? Where do you want to store those for easy access? Where do you want to put your towels? Things like that. Like really have a good plan for your space. And then start putting your room back together. Okay, remember, if something doesn't fit in your pile, chuck it. Get rid of it. You do not need it. Okay, so that's how you organize. Okay, now, don't make the task too big. All right, don't decide I'm going to start in the basement, that's the store all, or the attic. Right, start with a task that you are capable of tackling in a reasonable time frame, because you will feel better about what you've accomplished and you will be more motivated to do more. Totally key, totally essential. All right, but as you start to put it together and you start to really think about these projects and what you have going, that's where the lists come in handy, right? As you think of things, go ahead and turn and make lists. This is what I want to do in this room, so that when you get to that room, when you get to that space in your car, when you get to your office, that you're able to go, oh, I already have these ideas running, and you can run with them. Okay, that makes it so much easier. But yeah, trying to tackle a large space instantly, overwhelming, and you will probably not finish your project, and you will probably sit there and be like, I fail at this, right? And it's not true. You just started in the wrong space. So as you all know, I'm a very organized person, but even in my organization, there's chaos. You can see I'm still in the process of redoing my garage to make it fully my studio space. And so I still have some things going on. I can even turn you a little bit this way. You can see some chaos over there a little bit, right? I'm still organizing, so it's not a completed project, and that's okay. Some projects you can finish in a couple hours. Some projects take a little bit longer. Sometimes that's because of time. Sometimes that's because of finances. Whatever it is, it's okay as long as you keep progressing. So again, I'm fairly organized. What's it called? And when I am feeling overwhelmed or disconnected in life, right? My kitchen is generally the place that you can tell. Okay, my kitchen will be the first space to become unorganized. My crafting table, the second. So there are places, right? It still comes, and then all of a sudden you just need a moment to I need to clear this. I need to get rid of this. And all of a sudden you have control back again. It's always for another reason. It's not just because of laziness. There's always another reason connected to it. And it's a mental issue to work through. And then you work through it. It's like, oh, that space has to be clean. Like that clutter has to go. Just yesterday, I was talking with Tom. We had some quiet time, the two of us just sitting together. And, we have our youngest getting married in May. And I told him, I said, look, when Callie leaves, I said, I actually want to reorganize our entire house. I said, from top to bottom, I really want to take the time to pour into our home. Now, let me describe our home a little bit. Our home is 4 levels. That sounds massive. It is not massive in sizes. They're half levels. but it's 4 levels nonetheless. So the very top level are 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, the master bedroom, a bathroom, and a linen closet. Currently, Callie's room and the guest room, and the guest room is also Kelly's room because she stores stuff in there. What's it called? The linen closet. They're just a mess because we know this time is coming, and I'm not putting any effort into keeping that up because I plan on redoing everything. So we have that space. Then you go down a half a flight of stairs, and it's our main living area. That's where our front door is, our back door. It's all which go to decks and porches, which you have to go down full flights of stairs to get to the ground and things like that. So that's our middle areas, our living room, dining room, and our kitchen. You go down another half a flight, and you're on the level I'm on now. We've got the garage, which is my office. We have what was my old office, which is just kind of an empty room at the moment, and we have a utility bathroom. And then you go down like a flight and a half of stairs, actually, to the basement. The basement is Tom's domain for the most part. I've encroached in some space. We've stored, kind of pantry type food items down there. So I've taken over a little bit of his space, but that kind of is it. And he would like an office upstairs. So I told him, pick a room, and not the guest room. That's the room that only fits. We have a king size guest bed, and that's the only room that fits it. But I'm like, pick a room, and then the other room I'm going to make a grandbaby room. So all their stuff can go out of the living room, things like that. It's just looking at the organization of it. So I shared this with him, which he knows me well enough, right? We're married almost 29 years. He expects as much. So I shared this with him. We're talking about it. But when I start this project, when Callie leaves our home, right, I'm not going to say, okay, let's tear the whole house up. This is going to be like a 6-month project. I'm going to work on a room at a time. I'm going to work on a level at a time. I'm going to start with the upstairs and work my way down. So it's not going to be this project that's completed, right? I'm pacing myself because I understand the amount of work that needs to get done. So all I need to do, and I'm not spending money, I'm repurposing everything that we already have in place, right? I'm just repurposing is a great word. I'm just repurposing the space and purging, doing a lot of purging because there's lots of stuff we don't need anymore. So like I said, I know that this is a long project. I'm pacing myself. Pacing is absolutely key because it will keep you focused. It will not overwhelm you, and it will not paralyze you for fear of just the chaos. So be realistic, get organized, okay? And that's the tip or trick. Pick a space at a time. If you're in a large room, pick a small space at a time. Pick a corner of the room at a time, right? Be realistic with what you're choosing. Okay, so that was the tips or tricks for decluttering, organizing your home, your office, your car, whatever space it is that you're looking to organize. Tomorrow, it's going to be a little bonus, a little off track, organization still, but I'm going to help you and give you tips and tricks on how to prepare to have your taxes done. Not how to do your taxes, not giving tax lessons, just how to prepare to have your taxes done, what you should have ready, what will make it easier, whether you do it yourself or whether you go somewhere. So it's the end of January. It's kind of the right time. The IRS doesn't open until the middle of February, so you can rush, but really until the middle of February, your taxes aren't even going to be looked at. So it's just a matter of it's a good time to go ahead and be prepared. So I hope you all have a fantastic day. I hope you find lots of tips and tricks in here in this organization and you are ready to jump on it. I will talk to you in the next video.